So let's go. This is the opening position I gave them to play. The Frtiz 14 again with black versus the latest Stockfish development version, and Frtiz played that one. Stockfish took this, and then we had this recapture. There is probably also cheat takes possible, but this is more solid, I think. So let's see what they come up with here. I think, okay, queen to d2. Well, queen f3 wasn't possible because the knight would have hung, so queen d2, fair enough. Still covering the knight, so takes, and d5 doesn't do a thing. I'd bet either knight to d7, or, well, a6 was also something I was kind of expecting. It was kind of, no, not a3 of course, probably not. So, let's see. Okay, that's the way how you do it. Okay, a6, and now we had long castles by Stockfish. So, very interesting position. Stockfish far ahead in development, but there are ideas like b5 or bishop over there. Oh, sorry. Bishop over there coming up. Probably not bishop, probably knight over there with knight to this square and castles. Those are the ideas black has. Maybe even knight to c6. Maybe even knight to c6 at a certain point. But for now, I think those are the major ideas for black. For white, this bishop probably goes to c4, maybe even to e2 to prepare g4, g5, and h4 at some point. Because black's king most likely comes into the king side. But okay, we have bishop e7 here rather, and bishop c4 immediately piling up in this soft spot. So maybe, well, if you go knight d7, maybe there are even here sacrifices. Bishop takes, knight takes. Let's say queen to b6 and knight to g6. 3 pawns for a piece with a wide open king. I'd say white is better here. But okay, we don't have this. We rather have castles here. So now this pawn here on e6 is defended by the bishop because of the knight bd7. It was kind of hanging. I'd say g4 here. e5 is not that bad. Okay, h4 is also some sort of way to play. h4 is very great. Is a great idea. Let's say you take this. f5 now. g3, I don't know. What's the point? f5, g3, rook takes, sacking everything with check and queen rook h1 mate. Maybe. I mean, that would be hilarious if this stuff is working, but okay, I'm probably not. So we have h4 and knight c6 is the reply to this new main line. But we have to ask later what happens if bishop takes h4. So let's see, knight to this square, knight to c6. Very good. Well, probably knight f3 here. Just going back. Well, what is fb5? If the bishop drops back, queen c7, and why? Black gets somewhere here. But okay, knight c6, white just ignores this, continues with its plan, pushing on the king side. So takes is probably not that great for black, so we can probably ignore this. Maybe bishop to d7 here to prepare a move like b5 and b4 and enable the move rook c8. There is also something to be said about knight c6, g4. There is also something to be said about queen c7 here. There is also something to be said about queen c7. It also prepares the move g4, because the knight would then be defended by the queen, and maybe this bishop has a better home on the b7 square than on the d7 square, who knows? But first of all, those are the moves I'd probably expect. Frtiz is down to 4 minutes and 40 seconds approximately. Stockfish has 6 minutes 20 left. For Stockfish, the evaluation is better for white, as you might expect, and Frtiz says it's even still. I'd also prefer white here, just visually. Just look at this avalanche on the king side. White is just much quicker. I think white is quicker. Okay, let's say, well, there is probably nothing else than knight bishop here. Maybe knight a5 is something, hitting the bishop, but bishop, queen d, bishop. Okay, he goes for the takes. Okay, that's the line we're looking at. Knight takes, queen takes. What's the idea? Maybe the bishop returns because there is no e5 now. But I don't know. Well, maybe this. b5, bishop back, b4, knight back. Let's say queen a5. But there is really nothing going on. Next move maybe g5 and... Well, I think there is nothing for black to look forward to. This certain position here. Let's see what Frtiz comes up with. Well, Frtiz is thinking about bishop h4 finally. Takes, and now bishop takes h4. I'd probably not do this, because what happens if g5? You go after this pawn. Well, fair enough. Let's say you take, check, going there. Bishop takes, rook takes, king takes, and rook over here. Okay, the only square is this one. And now e5. I think that's kind of crushing, isn't it? Let's say d5, bishop d3, and queen over there. How are you covering everything? I mean, this h6 pawn is free for the taking, so Frtiz is not convinced that this is working well for him. So therefore Frtiz decided against bishop f6 and stuff like this. Frtiz decided to go with this, and now we have this and b5. Now both both sides collide. You have an in-between move. You can take on g6, but we have bishop to d5 hitting the rook. Very nice move. I'm not that well. I don't know. Should work maybe. Let's say you take this. Knight takes. Queen back. Takes. There is no bishop over. Well, there is. Well, you don't take this. Fair and square. The rook just slides over. Going over here. This is also a line we have to look at later. What happens if you take the bishop? Okay, and now we have this, and bishop f6 hitting the queen. Queen to d3 is what Stockfish is thinking of. Well, if you take, and the g file opens, it could be dangerous, could be game over if you take the bishop now. Maybe not. I mean, knight takes, stuff over there isn't that hot either. Queen d3 played. Bishop takes, c3 is the way. Frtiz is thinking about the position. I'm pretty sure that Stockfish doesn't want a queen trade. Okay, you don't take this, finally. Decided to take this. Move 18. Stockfish has rook hg1 in petto. Well, queen over there, otherwise it's game over instantly. King h8. Let's see. This, and this maybe as an idea. I'm not that sure. What about this? Threatening mate. Let's say you take, rook g8, king there, and queen h7. So you can't take everything. E5 may be a good move. Let's see. Stockfish applies. E5, pretty nice, maybe. E5, yeah, on the board. You can take knight E4 and knight G5 takes. How are you preventing this actually? Rook G8 and mate is unstoppable, I guess. Now knight E4, right. So how are you covering this? Knight coming into E4, how are you doing this? If you go back, well, let's say you do this, just for the sake of arguments. Then rook takes, king takes, rook G8, same stuff applies. But the worst, the bad thing is that knight f6 is also coming with mate threat, and there is just nothing to do. So, well, I think after this the only move is bishop to d8, to be honest. Well, what? Do we see? f5. Wow, what's happening? Why is rook g7 not working? I have to think about this later. Because, I don't know. I mean, after all, this bishop is still hanging. Okay, let's say, okay, f5 played. New main line. And f5. Now finally the bishop is taking. What about takes, and f6 now? This is queen king going. Knight here. Knight there, king there. Queen over. Takes, queen in, and game over. Is this how this game is ending? That would also be hilarious. Wow. f6. Wow, there is so much trouble in this position. Oh my god. Okay, this, no, not rook g6. Well, rook g6 wasn't played. It was f6 immediately. Okay, fine. Well, that's also doing the job, I guess. f6 rook over, otherwise it would be over immediately. Okay. But yeah, okay, fine. I see. What happens? Okay, takes. Probably now rook takes g7. Rook takes g7. No, not even now. Now knight f6 even, so the rook is unable to move. I don't know. I mean, I saw so much tricks in here, but maybe everything is defendable in this position. Let's see how Stockfish sees this position now. Probably completely winning, yeah. I would have loved if it had ended in a different way. Okay, king takes. What's the follow-up? It's not obvious, the follow-up. I mean, if rook h7 is working, then why not? Rook h7, queen there, king over. And then there is this rook f1 stuff, business, and with rook and queen I think it's game over for the king now. At least a lot of stuff has to be given up. But look at the material imbalance. I mean, black is just up everything. A bishop, 2 pawns, I guess. Yeah, 2 pawns on the bishop. It's immense. Just this, and this attack is just so good. This attack is really good. Brutal. Very brutal attack by Stockfish, yeah. Very brutal. Well, Frtiz 14, Deep Frtiz 14 went down with a bang. Rook f8, king over, now it's just a mop-up chop. Queen takes f7 even. Oh wow, yeah, and because this, there is rook over and this one. But okay, how can you mate the king over that? Well, maybe you don't take this check, maybe you go b4 right away, new main line. Now b4, rook f6, b4, rook f6, okay. I think rook f6 is still the way to go. Going with the checks, rook f6. Okay, I mean, queen, nothing. What did I want to say? King c5, the way to go. For Frtiz, I mean, you don't really want to give up the queen, right? So, might as well run away. This is a very good game of chess, this one. Ooh, very brutal game that was. Oh, there is a check coming in. from the back on a7, rook b6. What's wrong with this? I mean, you can't really do that, right? b5 king here. Yeah, you know you can't. This is the famous mate which is kind of appearing in the Kasparov game. Well, this might also be some sort of movement. Okay, king b5 doesn't work because of this. c5 also nothing because b6 is killing. Probably with rook coming in. Well, we can look at this now for a second as well. Do you have... No, yeah, this is covered, so rook c6 is made immediately, right? Don't have to smash anything extra. Right, it's made. Yeah, rook b6. I don't know. Why do you trade? Oh, because you have b4 in the end. You have b4 here. Wow. Queen takes and b4. That's great. That's good. Well, I don't know. I mean, what? Why? What? 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 Why rook b6? I don't understand. I really don't. b6. Okay, we had, I don't know, we had this one and this one. It's not great. Why don't you take this? I don't know. It's difficult to say. Why don't you take this? Aren't you a queen then? What am I missing? Why is this the move played in the game? Okay, anyway, what was the game continuation? This, rook b6, rook that, and what? I mean, b4 played? b4 play. Ah, no, you don't take. Okay, yeah, rook b6, you play b4 right away. Okay, sorry, you play b4 right away, and now takes, and queen here. That was the game continuation. Sorry, that was the game continuation. Just because otherwise it wouldn't have worked. And now it's bishop versus a rook. Still, there are a couple of pawns and the king on c1, so it's still not over for Frtiz. I don't know, I mean, with this king over there... Okay, the rook coming back to c6. What's the threat here? Oh, c5, c3 maybe? What is this check doing? Wow, in this position, even there you have to think so much. Even there you have to think so much. I don't know, I mean, b3 and or c3 stuff along those lines, I don't know. Could be over soon. Let's see. Only 2 minutes for Frtiz and 1 minute for Stockfish. But this whole game, I mean, to really... let's just see what both engines think about the position. Okay, the endgame is probably lost. But there was no other way. The endgame is probably lost. Not probably, most probably lost for Frtiz now. So let's see, Stockfish is giving this as +6 and Frtiz is giving it as +3, so both engines think that white is winning here. Completely winning. Okay, bishop over there. Oh, I now I see why this check wasn't working, because in the end the bishop on c8 was hanging before. So bishop to g4, first pawn is biting the dust, and now it's just a mop-up chop. I think we can end this. By now, I don't want to have an endgame stuff going on here. Okay, let's... Wow, that was a game. That really was a beauty of a game. Let's just quickly have a look at it. Let's just quickly have a look at only the variations. I kind of saw that the dangers I saw which were lurking in the position. It's like, well, if you go here... This is only... Just look at the trees here, what those engines are looking at, and more. These are just logical continuations I just thought were interesting to look at during the game. But anyway, let's have a quick look with the winning side here. What Stockfish has to say. So let's see what this engine has to say about this stuff. Okay, we have e4, c5, this is all pretty logical. Takes, and queen d2, this is all normal stuff. f6, bishop c5 castles, h4. So the first thing I wanted to see is what happens if you take g4 immediately. I thought... I don't know. Okay, let's go g4. New variation. Okay, let's go b5. Bishop b3 and let's say b4, yeah, for God's sake. Knight a4. What's the next logical move? Bishop e7, going back g5, and it appears as though that the opening of the g file is pretty dangerous. Mate in 10 already. f5. Knight takes e6. Wow. Oh yeah, it's opening up this line here. Okay, that's completely busted. So this was the move bishop h4. So therefore knight c6 was played. Because bishop h4 is immediately lost because of g4 and the stuff we just saw and discussed. So g4 now. Okay, d5 is the way to go. Knight takes d5 is not great. I think here Stockfish with d5, but not happy with white's position here anyway. Knight c6 wasn't that great. Position here already, castles was not that great. So that's the position here. So knight takes d4, queen d4 and queen c7. Now g5 came. b5, bishop to d5. So let's say you take this, knight takes and the queen back. G takes h6. Okay, you can't really... No, you have to do something. You have to do something. f6 maybe. Wow, that I don't know, it just looks so bad. Okay, let's go with f6, rook dg1, rook f8, okay, hg7, rook g7, rook g7, king g7, rook g1. Let's see, where do you go with the king? Where do you go with the king? King f7, king f8, let's go to f8 first. Knight e7, queen e7, and queen d5 hitting the rook and threatening mate. Wow. Yeah, spotting all this is just... I don't know, it's not possible for a human being to spot this stuff. Okay, anyway. So therefore bishop to d5 wasn't taken, because if it is, it's also bad. So rook b8 was played. So now gh6 and bishop f6 hitting the queen. Logical stuff. Queen d3. And now... takes, this is bad. Bishop takes is also bad, which was the second move. Everything here is bad. Let's again look at this for a second, but I think now it's even worse. Knight takes d5 and queen d8. You have to defend the bishop. hg7, bishop g7 and rook dg1. Okay, let's say you go aside. Queen to d1, mate in 18. Oh wow, this h5 square, all those. Wow, okay, that's devastation. That's devastation. Okay, you can take this. So you never took it. Rook hg1, king h8, e5, the move I spotted. Knight e4 as well. Bishop to g7, the move played. f5, the only winning move. I thought this was kind of an, yeah, maybe, I don't know, let's see. Okay, this is also a line. It's only even if you take the rook, it's mate, but you have e takes d5. That could very well ruin this stuff. Although I don't know how to say. Well, probably because of e4. So let's just go again. New variation. Let's say knight f6. The only move is e4, right? King g7. Oh, now the f file isn't open. So this whole stuff, taking this and taking this, there is king e7. Now you're in time, everything is closed. Okay, not like it's better. You have to be careful how to attack. So bishop g7 and now f5. The only move which wins for white. This bishop is hanging for so long, so takes. And now you go f6. Wow, threatening the rook. So let's say rook g8. Let's say you take the knight. Let's say you take the knight. Let's say you take the knight. F g7, check, king here. And now queen to d2, queen to d3, probably the same. What's the difference? Why don't you go queen to d3? Why is queen d3 not great? Because of rook b6. What? And what's the difference if you go queen to d7? New variation, and now rook to b6, covering the pawn. There is g takes f8, check. Well, this was the move before as well. And now you have queen b4 check. Oh wow, that's so brutal. If you go queen e7, then rook d8 mate, and if you go there, then it's the other rook round. That's so brutal. That's the difference between queen d3 and queen e3 and queen d2. Okay, you go there. Okay, you don't go there. Okay. What was this variation? Taking this, taking this. Okay, this is the variation. Queen d2 is the main variation. Okay. So this was one line. Wanted to look at, yeah, this is actually the only line, and it loses for black because of this nasty queen to d2. Okay, fg7, rook g7, knight to f6. Okay, the only other thing I looked at was rook g7, but I guess no, I wasn't looking at this. It wasn't working in my eyes. But it's even this is kind of playable. It's just a draw, though, with queen to g3 or rook to g1 check. Just a draw. Okay, we have knight f6. So now you can't really take the rook, you have to retreat at the knight, and now the rook. And yeah, the rest is kind of history. Okay, wow. But okay, if you take... No, you can't take the knight because this mate threat on h7, and yeah, the rest is kind of history. Wow, that was a brutal attack. That was a brutal attack, which finished in the winning endgame for Stockfish. Yeah, that was hilarious to watch, honestly. I mean, this was a game certainly for my book. I really learned a lot while watching this. Let's just quickly have a look. No, there is not much to be... There is not much theory here. It's just the difference between those two engines, which is enormous. And it's 5-6 years of development into Stockfish. Wow, that was brutal. Okay, that's all I wanted to say about this game. See you later. Ciao.